Ukraine is doing everything in its power to make Russia's fuel crisis worse. In Russia's Tver region, a drone attacked a fuel depot belonging to the Federal Agency for State Reserves, Rosreserve. The incident took place on the morning of Monday, September 29th, according to sources from Russia's Ministry of Emergency Situations, cited by Astra. Reports state that a Ukrainian strike drone crashed on the territory of the Federal State Treasury institution Lokomotiv in the city of Bologoye. It hit a container with aviation fuel, but it is reported that no fire broke out. However, sources claim that following the drone strike, security forces cordoned off the area and emergency ministry personnel began cooling the fuel tanks. But it is unclear why they needed to be cooled if no ignition occurred. It is reported that there were no casualties. The Ministry of Defense of the Russian Federation did not report the attack on the Tver region on September 29th. Ukrainian strike drones previously targeted the Tingovatovo oil pumping station near the settlement of Konar in the Civilsky district of Chuvashia. The invaders continue to block the Kerch Strait with underwater hedgehogs to protect the Kerch Bridge from Ukrainian maritime drones. The Crimean Wind Telegram channel published the photo of the works. Judging by the published photos, the hedgehogs are being flooded in the sea under the navigable arches of the Kerch Bridge, effectively narrowing the fairway. According to the channel, the Russians started flooding the barrier structures in the form of hedgehogs in the strait in September 2024. Hundreds of such structures have already been submerged, which is why only Russian warships and boats, as well as pilot vessels with maps of underwater obstacles, can move near the bridge. These maps are classified. The installation of barriers around the Kerch Bridge was first reported in August 2023. Then the Russians installed several barges on the approaches to the bridge. Since then, the barrier system has been constantly reinforced with additional barges, containment booms, and underwater obstacles. The Russians also deployed a 436 BISR Project Target vessel near the bridge to protect the strategically important facility from radar-guided missiles. In addition, towers with Pantsir-S 1M anti-aircraft missile and gun systems, smoke generators, radars, and increased patrols were installed. In the summer of 2024, the invaders built a permanent barrier parallel to the Kerch Bridge. Thus, a multi-level barrier system was created around the bridge, completely blocking the approaches to the bridge. Only a narrow passage under the shipping arches remained free. Despite these measures, in June 2025, the Security Service of Ukraine struck the Crimean Bridge for the third time in a special operation, mining the pillars of the strategic facility underwater. During the operation, which lasted several months, SSU agents planted explosives on the bridge pylons. At 4:44 a.m., the first explosive device was activated, damaging the structure. The agency reported that the underwater supports of the pylons were severely damaged at the bottom level, stating that explosives equivalent to 1,100 kilograms of TNT contributed to this. In late September, the Ukrainian company Toloka announced that it had started mass production of Toloka 400 and Toloka 200 underwater drones. Russia is reportedly using criminal networks, neo-Nazis, and Telegram bots to recruit disaffected elements in the US and Europe to carry out espionage and sabotage. They have targeted English football hooligans and right-wing Americans with a bot called Eye of Sauron. An investigation by Current Time reports that the Russian GRU has been urging Telegram users to cooperate with it during the most active phase of Russia's confrontation with Western evil. A reporter responded to the bot. Upon launching the GRU bot, a Sistema journalist was greeted with a message asking to provide Russian military intelligence with assistance in the fight for its history, culture, and values against a gang of rabid scum from among the governments of Western countries. After clicking the Start button, a menu appeared with a choice of language, Russian or English, followed by a request to fill out a short questionnaire. How to address the bot user, where they live, what they do for work, and what their motivations are. As an experiment, a Sistema correspondent posed as a resident of Riga with access to various facilities. Residents of the Baltic states are one of the bot's primary target audiences, judging by its distribution channels. More on that later. Only 3 minutes later, a human operator responded, "Good evening. We are glad that there are still Russian patriots left. How can you help us?" After the reporter asked the operator was interested in, they replied, "The fuel trucks are Ukrainian. Do you know where to find them?" At the Riga port, the fuel trucks are civilian. We need to know where they are and take a photo. The recruitment scheme follows a fairly typical pattern, according to current time. A newly recruited operative is given a simple task for a small fee, such as photographing a target or painting a pro-Russian slogan on a wall. If successful, they are given a more complex or dangerous assignment for a larger fee, such as arson. They then repeat until the operative is caught. On this occasion, however, the recruiter didn't want to pay anything and broke off contact when asked. "Go for a walk, Vasya. Fucking disgraceful. They'll pay you a dick. Money is unnecessary. Love for one's homeland should warm and feed oneself. Are you seriously asking for money for a photo? There are dozens of people like you in Riga alone. No one thought of asking for money for a photo. Goodbye." Russian recruitment bots are advertised by Russian war bloggers and pseudo-Ukrainian channels, Telegram channels claiming to be written by pro-Russian Ukrainians. 1 in 10 Ukrainians reportedly read such channels. The bots are also advertised by pro-Russian channels which promote anti-Ukrainian, anti-immigrant, Eurosceptic, and generally far-right views. One bot, called Eye of Sauron, was promoted in 9 European countries and targeted English football hooligans. The Eye of Sauron bot has also been promoted in the US by pro-Russian influencers who represent far-right and anti-Ukrainian viewpoints. They have been responsible for launching notorious hoaxes, such as the false story that President Zelensky bought a $75 million yacht. Some of the channels are part of a network of nearly 200 disinformation websites that publish material from Russian state media and pro-Kremlin Telegram channels in French, German, English, Spanish, and other languages. They also include Czech and Polish Telegram channels that have become some of the largest channels in their countries and are likely run by the same author or group of admins. Their content often launders material from Russian media outlets that have been blocked in the EU. According to current time, the bots were created and coordinated by the Russian GRU, the Española Combat Unit, originally formed by Russian football hooligans who wanted to fight in Ukraine, and the neo-Nazi influencer Topaz, real name Yevgeny Raskazov. Española is reported to be central to this effort. From its relatively modest beginnings, it has grown into a full-sized brigade with its own specialized command center for communications, cyber intelligence, and analysis. They are said to provide the bot operators. Raskazov, aka Topaz, is a notorious neo-Nazi who was born in Ukraine, but says that he has a sexual desire to kill Ukrainians. He originally fought in the neo-Nazi Rusich group, but moved to Española, where he has become the deputy head of its Melodia command center. Topaz has extensively promoted the Eye of Sauron bot in his other capacity as a social media influencer. As current time notes, his Telegram channel was among the first and most active resources to publish a link to the Eye of Sauron. Telegram has declined to comment on whether the recruitment bots violate its terms of service.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comments section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week at 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.